Hello, this is Rosie Speaks, and today I am going to do a recap slash review of Under the Dome season one, season two, episode one, that just aired tonight on CBS. So it's been a year since Under the Dome made its debut. And so today was the first episode. And so I'm just going to go through what happened in this episode and talk a little bit about it. And then I'm done. And if you're interested, create a little dialogue down there. And I will be happy to go back and forth with you or chime in, help me out. Okay, so let's just start from the beginning. Okay, so it starts with what I love about it. For one, it started off exactly where it left off. You know how like sometimes a season will end one way and then like it's been 4 months. Nope. This just was a continuance. It was like the same day. I mean, it picked up exactly where it left off. So that's what I love in the opener. So anyway, so it starts off Barbie, and I may not get all the names right, so just, but Barbie, he's like about to get hung, and he's standing up there. Big Jim's there, Junior is there, and they're about to basically hang Barbie because, Big Jim had framed him last season for like for the burning down of the radio station and for killing Dottie, which was all incorrect. But the whole town was like, yeah, let's kill Barbie, let's hang him, like some old executioner style stuff. So it picked up right there. And Big Jim kept trying to get Junior to pull the lever, and Junior was like, I don't want to pull the lever. He did not want to pull the lever. He didn't want to have blood on his hands, And so it was kind of like some going back and forth. And in the meantime, while that's going on, I forgot her name, but the redhead, you guys know exactly who I'm talking about. Her name just slipped me really quick. But the redhead, she's at the ocean. She's at the lake, and she drops that mini dome into the water. She's like on some boat. She drops the mini dome into the water. She gets back to land, right? Because they're trying to get rid of the mini dome, right? And so she throws it into the water. She didn't want them to get it, And when she gets to land, she just out of the blue, she notices some chick who we've never seen. She's never made an appearance on the show. She's like in the water, like drowning. And it's like, where did you come from? I mean, seriously, where did this girl come from? So Miss Redhead, I'm just going to call her Miss Redhead. I know you guys will correct me, but she goes back into the water to save this girl who just appeared out of nowhere. And, got her and, was like trying to give her CPR and stuff like that. And some guys show up to help. Fast forward back to, the hanging. They're going to hang this guy. So they're going to hang Barbie. And so some noise and some lights from the dome started going on. And then like most of the people who was at the hanging, they just like passed out. They just fell out. It was like some lights and some flashes and some weird noises. And like most of the people just fall to the ground. They're breathing, but they're unconscious. And of course, what is Big Jim doing? He's still trying to talk Junior into, pulling this lever so that Barbie can hang and he can die. Whew. And this is like the first 5 minutes of the season opener. Yeah, so all the people of Chester Mill, they're just like, most of the people, they're just like laying there. But they don't kill Barbie, It's too much going on. I mean, I don't have time to be hanging people right now. So they let They let Barbie go. And so Barbie, Sheriff Linda, Big Jim, and Junior, they all drive to the dome, to like where the dome is to see what's going on. Like, why did this noise happen and stuff like that. There's some weird magnetic pull or some type of magnetic force field coming from the dome. And it's like making their guns fly to the dome, anything that's magnetic. They had Barbie in handcuffs and he flew to the dome, like it was pulling him. That's how strong that magnetic pull was. Long story short, Sheriff Linda, she was at the dome with Barbie trying to unlock his handcuffs. And I completely didn't see this coming. But as she's unlocking his handcuffs and they're saying, get out the way because there's a car that's being pulled to the dome because of that magnetic pull. But she frees Barbie and doesn't have time to get out the way and she dies. The car smashes into her and she dies. The Sheriff Linda dies. Right? Oh my goodness. So that was enough for me. And we're still like 10 minutes into this thing. So yeah, that was a shocker. I definitely didn't see that coming at all. In the meantime, Miss Redhead and this girl who they revived and this guy who we later find out is Big Jim's brother-in-law or brother or whatever. They take this girl who, they saved from drowning. They took her to his cabin. And so he's helping to fix Miss Redhead because she still has that bullet wound from when she got shot, right? And they're helping the girl and stuff like that. And they're kind of just talking. And he's being his vibe was not like, hello, come on in. He said he was an EMT for like 10 years, but he had an alcohol problem. And basically Chester Mill didn't hire him because he abused substances. So, but it's still like this creepy vibe with him, kind of dark and just creepy, you just don't know. You don't know him. He's a new character. So it's like he's been there the whole time, just in his little cabin. He don't like to interact with people. So, but he knows something. I'm just a prediction. He knows something. Something's going on with him. We will definitely see more from that character. What else happened? So, let's see. Oh, the girls, and Joe. So, the 4 people, right? So the kids, you got Joe, you got Eleanor, you got Angie, and then you have the other mom, right? The black, bald mom, because the one with cancer died the last season. So as everything is being pulled, because everything in Chester Mill is still being pulled, especially things closest to the dome. So the kids go to the girl's house and find her mom, the one that's bald. She's passed out. She was one of those people that when the lights and the wave hit, she passed out. And so they're trying to get her out. And it's like knives flying and stuff like that. But who saves the day? Barbie. He comes in the house in just the nick of time, helps pull the mom out. And then the most, like, you don't even see this in regular television. Best, special effects or whatever. They're outside of the house and the house literally just breaks down. Like, if Barbie wouldn't have came, they all would have died. Because the house just pulled apart. Because you have to think about it, there's nails that's keeping those walls together, and nails are made of metal. So the house just broke apart. It was pretty awesome looking too, right? So, but Barbie saved the day. That was great. And it was kind of sad. And the mom still didn't wake up. And all the people who had passed out originally, they're still out. So they meet the science teacher. Never seen her before. Again, she's a new character, but she's like Joe's science teacher. And so her and Barbie meet when he was trying to break into her truck. And so I guess I'm kind of backtracking a little bit, but her name is Miss Pine. And so he was trying to break into her truck, and she's like, oh no, we gotta build some type of magnetic field or something to offset the magnetic pull from the dome, and it's gonna work. And she was all very sciencey. And so they were kind of listening to her. And they started building it. In the meantime, Big Jim gets trapped in his basement, the same basement where Junior kept Angie in season 1. He got trapped in his basement, and guess who's in there with him? Dodie, the one who he killed in the radio station. She's like this creepy ghost with her bullet hole. She even put her finger in her bullet hole, and she was like, you did this, Jim. I mean, it was like a movie. I couldn't believe I was watching a TV show. But he was like, who are you? Like, because she was this ghost, and she was basically like, I'm not leaving. You're not listening. He was like, I'm listening. She was like, you're not listening. She was trying to help him to understand, because Jim is on he wants to kill, and he wants to be like the monarch or like the king of Chester Mill. And she was like, you need to listen. So she was kind of haunting him. And in the meantime, another wave comes of magnetic energy, and more people fall and pass out, including all the kids, Junior, Angie, Joe, most of the people. And Jim had blew himself out of his basement. He hooked up something and blew himself out. So Jim was still walking around. Barbie was still walking around. Miss Redhead was still walking around. And, when that wave hit, I would say like 2/3 of Chester's Mill is probably just laying all over the ground. It's kind of scary. It's like they don't know what they're going to do. It kind of seemed hopeless. Yeah. And so, and that girl from the water, remember in the beginning when Miss Redhead saved her? She's like being all creepy, walking through Chester's Mill. Something's up with her. We're not done seeing her. She's like walking through Chester's Mill, kind of zombie-like. Stoic and no emotion at all. She's just like, so that's going on. And Sheriff Linda, her spirit, I don't know how this happened, but her spirit came to Big Jim, and she's talking to Big Jim, and because he doesn't know what to do. I mean, what do you do? What do you do when you're stuck in a dome and 2/3 of the people are on the ground unconscious? Even Big Jim with all his solutions, he has no idea. He don't know what to do. So he's being haunted not only by Dottie, who he killed, but by Sheriff Linda, who just got killed by getting smashed into the dome a few minutes, at the beginning of the episode. And so what she said to him, she said that Big Jim needed to learn the virtue of sacrifice. And so when she said that to him, he was standing by the noose, like where he was trying to hang Barbie earlier. And so, he needed to learn the virtue of sacrifice. So to him, he was like, oh, basically I need to hang myself, sacrifice my own life so that my son and everybody like that could live. And while he's having this epiphany, Junior's dreaming about his mom. Which is interesting. She used to like to paint, and the pink stars are falling and all that type of stuff. So he's dreaming about his mom and Chester's Mill being covered in blood or something like that, and like a snow globe. It's, So Big Jim goes up to the noose, puts the noose around his neck. I'm like, what is going on? And he's holding on to the lever, or trying to hold on to the lever so that he could pull the lever so that the ground could open up below him so that he could fall and hang himself, and hope that by learning the virtue of sacrifice that somehow his dying will somehow save everybody else, because he believes that the dome wants him to die, right? And that's kind of like what the prophecy that was like, not the prophecy, but kind of that was revealed in season 1, because when they all touched the mini dome, it showed them killing Big Jim. So yeah, so I mean, I get it. So of course I'm like, is CBS gonna air this? But of course he doesn't kill himself. Who shows up? Miss Redhead and Barbie. And they're like, no, wait, don't do it. You know, and Big Jim's like, who's gonna pull the lever? Barbie says, I'm not pulling it. Miss Redhead was like, I'll do it. Because remember, I mean, he tried to kill her, basically. So, I mean, she was like, I'm down. So she went up there to pull the lever, and she was like, she was going to do it. It's like, is she going to pull it? And then she didn't pull it. And he called her a coward. And she just couldn't do it, you know? And so Big Jim started jumping on the floor of this little structure so that the floor can cave out so that he could hang. And so he jumped, and sure enough, the floor caved and Big Jim hung. But Miss Redhead pulled out a knife, cut the rope, and he didn't die. He didn't hang for too long. And so when he was laying there, everybody just slowly started to wake up. So I guess Big Jim being willing to offer himself as a sacrifice worked to the dome, right? And everybody just like started waking up, you know, just, oh, yeah, you know, I mean, they just, I don't know, they just started waking up. It was really interesting. Yeah, so that was like at the end of the episode. And then what else happened? Oh, and the magnetic pull stopped. So when everybody started to wake up, the magnetic pull stopped. And remember that girl from the ocean, the creepy one that's like all emotionalist and stuff like that? She's standing next to Sheriff Linda's body, and she says sorry. You know, I guess Sheriff Linda wasn't supposed to die. And so she covers Linda's eyes, and I was like, oh. So that happened. And so everybody's like at the diner and stuff like that. And the guy who lived in the cabin, the alcoholic, who's also Big Jim's brother, I guess, he's looking for the creepy stoic girl. Because it's something about them too. I don't know. But he's looking for her. And what else? Yeah. And then at the very end, Angie, you know, who is one of the teenagers, one of the 4, not Eleanor. Eleanor is the one with the 2 moms, who the bald mom is the only one left. And Big Jim came to the diner, and he offered Eleanor and her mom a place to stay because they lost their home. And so that happened. And then at the very end of the episode, Angie, you know, whose brother is Joe, she's following that creepy stoic girl, right? And she's in, I guess, the high school, and the creepy girl is like just standing at this locker looking at it. And, you know, and Angie's like, hey, wait. And then the girl runs off, and then Angie starts looking at the locker, and she's like, oh, you know, it's like she's like afraid of whatever's in this locker. And then she looks to the side and starts screaming. And then all we see is an axe and just blood everywhere. And then in the next episode, they say that Angie is dead. Whew, I could breathe. Okay, sorry it took 20 minutes for me to tell you about a 1 hour show. But, yeah, Angie's dead. Sheriff Linda's dead. Big Jim is like, I guess he's seen the light and he's trying to make, I don't know, reckoning for all his bad ways. I don't know. But as a fan of the show, someone who watched every episode last season, this was an amazing beginning to this show. What a way to start. The graphics, Stephen King is amazing. I mean, this was like watching a 1 hour movie. It was great. And I'm looking forward to seeing whatever happens next week. I will be tuned in at 10 o'clock on CBS. So what do you think? What did you think about it? Am I just like overexcited? Was it that good? What do you think is going to happen? I'll leave the comments and feel free to subscribe. I'll be here next week. Rosie Speaks. Bye.
From plastic, talking about getting plastic.